TikToker gets prison for this prank. Yo, how the hell do you do that, bro? Tell me how you even do that. Like, you have to be another level of stupid to do that. What the hell? Let's get into it. Let's just get into it. Let's see what the hell this is about.
This TikTok prank just sent him to prison, and it's been a long time coming, but the TikToker who deliberately poisoned the produce section at Walmart and called it a prank just got thrown in prison.
A social media influencer accused of spraying bug killer on food at a Valley Walmart, then posting the video of him.
What is wrong with you? You have serious issues, bro. Yeah, let me just film this all. Yeah, let me just film it all. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Committing the
Yeah, that's
crime
great.
online was just
Oh, yeah.
sentenced to 1 year in prison.
After 6 months of
Isn't that so funny, guys? Isn't that so funny? I could potentially kill people with this, but isn't that so funny? You got problems, bro.
court proceedings, plea deals, and a series of legal proceedings, Charles Smith, better known as Wolfie Coletti on social media, was finally sentenced this week. I think it's safe to say that covering this guy's antics from day one
Shoot,
and
thank
watching this
God.
whole situation unfold has been like watching someone slowly dig their own grave. This is, almost by definition, watching a slow train wreck finally crash. And it's been about a year since we first started covering this guy, from the moment he went viral for tossing ice into deep fryers at fast food restaurants, to throwing cakes at people in public, and being—
Bro, what? Isn't that also illegal, no? Yo, hello? Yo, hello? What is wrong with you, bro? Is this worse than Johnny Somali?
being an all-around burden to society for social media attention, which led to his inevitable arrest and now his sentencing. We've essentially just been covering it all, including the part of the story that landed him in some pretty hot water, as it was December 19th, 2024, when Wolfie decided to film what would become, I guess, the most expensive prank of his career. The dude walked into Walmart in Arizona and grabbed a can of cockroach killer, or insecticide, and proceeded to spray it all over the produce section in the store. I mean, it really doesn't take a genius to realize spray—
that might be toxic for human consumption. Not consumption, consumption. Yeah, you got it.
insecticides all over a produce section is way beyond any prank whatsoever. That's just disgusting behavior. And
You're
not
evil.
only
You're straight up evil, bro. Nah, he just straight up evil, bro. There's no way around this one. Like, bro, nah, you got problems, bro.
did he do that, he also left the area, leaving essentially it wide open for anyone to just buy without any warning for 10 whole minutes. Because hey, I guess poisoning people's food is worth a little bit of attention on social media.
Yeah, people potentially dying. Dude, I got my likes though. Like, dude, I got 500,000 likes on Insta. Like, what are we talking about? Hey, yo, you got me 500,000 likes. Thank you, thank you. Like, and honestly, you should be proud. You should be happy. You should be happy for that. You should be happy for me. Insanity.
And obviously, he posted this video on his TikTok account, and as you can imagine, that's where everything started to fall apart for him, because who would have ever thought that filming yourself committing a felony and uploading it online would eventually backfire? Well, apparently—
It's a blessing that all these criminals are just stupid. It's a true blessing, to be honest. Like, truly. Because, is there cameras in Publix? I don't know. I know there's cameras on some Publixes, like, in front of the store, but I think that's, like, the only part, no? So he could have got, like, scot-free away with this if he just didn't upload it. But no.
not him, even though that we've covered the phenomenon of a social media influencer filming themselves committing a felony, then uploading it to the internet, then getting arrested probably hundreds of times.
This is why you gotta wash your food always, because of dumbasses like this, though. Yeah.
At this point here on this channel. But still, he recorded himself again, going back to the store, gathering up all the contaminated items he could find, putting them into a shopping cart, and then pushing it into some random location of the store. And with that, he claims he cleaned it up. And I mean, just from covering this guy over the past year and seeing the stuff—
Guys, I cleaned it up. Like, just don't worry about it, okay? I got it.
that he's done, I realized he's quite slow. But little did I know that he would actually be this stupid.
I mean, it's always people with my skin color usually. They're slow. It's crazy. I'm like an anomaly.
The
I'm
bar
kidding.
has just fell through the floor. It's gone. There's no possible way to
These people
lower
are
it
stupid.
anymore for him. But anyway, maybe a smudge of common sense got whacked into his head when all the people started commenting, hello, FBI? So what he did then was delete those videos. And then he started defending himself by saying that because he cleaned it up, it was essentially a harmless prank. Like, dude, number
No.
one, you didn't even clean it up properly. And two, you don't get to be a hero when you created the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I threw them away. I wasted a bunch of food, but like,
Like, this dude somehow thought that by removing items that he remembered spraying, that would completely fix this.
also, yeah, what if he just didn't remove everything that he actually sprayed? What's happening to me? Why am I coughing on fucking fruit right now? What? Oh, I'm about to die because of some stupid spray? Oh, that's cool.
Situation. But from what we know from his online behavior, he's definitely no scientist and clearly doesn't know how contamination works. Because when you spray liquid insecticide, aka a cockroach exterminator, in a small crowded area like a grocery store, it's very easy for that poison to affect more than just the intended target. For
Yeah.
example, the shelves and the cases that were holding the produce now have poison all over them. Groundbreaking stuff, I know.
Who would
And
have
then you have the
thought,
whole
man?
other danger of kids go to Walmart, kids touch everything, kids rub their hands on the bins
And
that's
then rub
holding
their
produce.
eyes and then, put their fingers in their mouth and everything like that. Yeah.
That happens. I don't need to keep going on and on, but simply removing the produce like he did doesn't actually clean it up because it gets everywhere. Then obviously, he doesn't even clean it up for about 10 minutes. And 10 minutes is a very long time.
Yeah.
Meaning that there's a very, very real chance in that time.
Especially because, at least for me, no, I know a lot of people in America be big bodied, okay? I know that. But at least for me, the only places I go are the meat section and the produce section, pretty much. I think at a grocery store. Those are only two places. And I try to get, we go to like 5 grocery stores, try to get deals because we don't got money like that, but we still try to eat whole foods. So, um, and if someone did that with my food and I accidentally forgot to wash it, oh, I guess, sayonara, I suppose.
That somebody ended up either buying or at least interacting with that food that had already been poisoned. And again, all of this was to simply act edgy on TikTok for some internet fame. Congratulations, you played yourself and you got banned on TikTok. But later on, court
Yeah, but
documents revealed
before I got banned though, like I got my likes. I got my likes, dude. You have to understand.
it was actually unknown whether he managed to collect all the contaminated items or not. So in the end, Walmart had to discard about $1,000 worth of food. And then just imagine being a Walmart worker. You're tired, you want to go home, and then you find out that some TikTok moron poisoned the produce section. So now you have to clean that up? No wonder creators get so much shit online because the worst 1% of us gives everyone essentially a bad rep. But after the video went viral, Mesa police used it to track down and finally arrest him. Wolfie ended up turning himself in, admitting to the crime without hesitation because, as you can probably imagine, there's not really too much you can do when
You're the one that recorded it. Yeah, goodbye, buddy.
yourself are the one who are proudly posting the video evidence onto social media for the entire world to see. So the Maricopa County Attorney's Office ended up indicting him on multiple charges, some of which include introducing poison, a Class 6 felony, and multiple misdemeanors like criminal damage and endangerment. After this incident, police started digging deeper into his background because, if someone is crazy enough to spray bug spray or bug
Then he must have done other stuff. Yeah.
killer onto food, what else would he may have done? Well, spoiler alert, they started adding more charges because they added a third-degree burglary charge related to an incident at a Bosa donut shop. However, the details surrounding this charge weren't publicly revealed as of right now, at least. All we know is that he can't step foot in any Bosa donut shops anymore.
Excuse me. So you effectively got banned from a donut shop? Yo, how do you even do that, bro? Nah, how do you do that? How do you even do that? No, there's no way you do that. Nah. You gotta be another different kind of breed, bro. An actual gremlin, dude. Nah. Hell no.
which honestly is kind of a funny selling point for Bosa Donuts
I don't even think Zenyatta from Overwatch would forgive you at that point.
because Arizona has essentially been terrorized by this guy for about 1 year now. The Bosa Donut Shop has essentially become the Left 4 Dead safe house before you start the mission. If you go to a Bosa Donut Shop, at least you'll be safe with Wolfie Coletti.
I
His
don't think
pre-trial
Thorfinn would
conference was
forgive you
initially
either.
scheduled for April 30th, but ended up being expedited to April 3rd. Then on April 22nd, a plea agreement had been filed with all 3 cases in Maricopa County, which initially resulted in him being set to adult probation. However, just 2 days later, something happened. Wolfie officially changed from a plea deal to now pleading guilty on all charges related to Walmart and Bosa Donuts. So we finally get to June 24th, which was sentencing day, and it was pretty easy to tell how nervous Wolfie and his legal team were about the situation, because when the judge allowed him to speak, he said this.
I'd just like to formally apologize for my actions from last year and that I've become a better person.
Again, am I nitpicking?
Damn. He cooked, bro. He's done. He's not. You're not even nitpicking, bro. Nah. This man deserves everything that is coming. You don't like why are you doing this just out in the public? You have problems. What's wrong with you? People used to get annoyed at ding dong ditching and everything like that. And try to like, do stuff to the people that ding dong ditch that was an actual thing. But this is another level, bro. People hated GD for his pranks back in the day. This is literally 10 steps at least ahead of that, bro. Like worse than that, I mean. This is true insanity.
I don't know, but it doesn't seem like a great idea to only express regret for the actions you're currently being held accountable for. Those who were in the courtroom expressed their frustration at him for not taking the opportunity to make a broader, more sincere apology. Because in an absolute masterclass on what not to do, there was absolutely zero acknowledgement from him on the harm of his pranks or incidents over
Oh,
the
it's great. I mean, I'm not really that surprised, to be honest. Because if you do it for years upon years, you're most likely not, that sorry for it. I mean, you might be because you just don't understand. You're so stupid that you don't understand the severity of what you're doing. So that is that's a possibility, but it's unlikely in my opinion.
years. Not only that, but he didn't even bother to submit a written statement apologizing on a broader scale for everything he'd done. Although his attorney did somehow manage to pull off a little bit of damage control by saying that the client had the opportunity to reflect on what he considered to be pranks at the time, and he now understands that these are not pranks. What he did was not funny, and that's not how he should behave. Wow, it's absolutely crazy that you have to be like, what, 28 years old to finally
28 years old. 28 years old. Bro, no. Maybe if he was like my age, I'm 18 by the way. Maybe if he was like me, like barely 18 or something, you know, sure. 28? You're like unk status, basically. Like you're getting up there, buddy. Like, like, wait, does bro have a wife? That's my question. That's my other question now. Yo, yo. Now, obviously, I know most people in their 20, like when they're 28, don't have a wife. But imagine if he did. Oh my gosh. Oh no.
figure that one out. Dude, your prefrontal cortex, it's been loaded in. Like
It should have. No, it's actually lagging. It's lagging actually. Nah. See, he's on 1,000 ping. He's still loading. Don't worry about him. He's not in the game yet.
thing's been there for essentially the whole time you've been doing this stuff. So
Honestly, he might have just DC'd, to be honest.
there is no excuse whatsoever for what you've done. He also went on record saying that not only has Wolfie taken responsibility for his actions, but he also wants to remove himself from social media once released. Wolfie himself has also claimed that social media has definitely taken over his brain, which made him do abnormal things.
Then Smith talked about why.
I mean, I wonder where his parents are. That's my question. Just because, like, I feel like with good parents, you shouldn't have social media take over your brain. So that part should even
he
happen.
makes these kinds of videos.
Social media has definitely took over my brain and made me do things that is abnormal.
I don't know how much
Like, how do you have this much of addiction to social media to do this stuff? People always under like, bro, it's crazy. Don't get me wrong, social media has done very harmful like damage to people, but I feel like it's not even social media's fault. It's just and it's just the enablement of people, if that makes sense.
I'm buying it, but clearly the dude is an attention fiend. But either way, I feel like we've been saying this for a while, but clout definitely is a drug. So after all the legal proceedings,
Yeah.
statements, and endless back and forth that ensued, Wolfie has been finally sentenced to 1 year prison for the count of
That's
adding
fair.
poison or harmful substances to food. That being said, he does get credited for the 136 days he's already served. So all in all, there's around 229 more days before he's released back into society. Maybe
So only roughly a year, really, for this stuff? For what? I thought he would have like 3 years or something.
a little bit less if good behavior is involved. But prison time aside, Wolfie also received 3 years probation for the criminal damages, endangerment, and third-degree burglary charges that I mentioned earlier. But it's also important to mention that those sentences run concurrently, meaning he's not serving them all at the same time. Additionally, the judge banned him from returning to Walmart and Bosa Donuts and imposed restrictions on his computer usage. I'm kind of interested in what those restrictions actually are. So he said he's not going to return to social media, but the judge might have actually made it so he can't return to social media, at least for 3 years while he's on probation. Dude's been sent
That's probably going to be a blessing. Yeah.
to, if he wants to use the internet, he's forced to only use Cool Math Games at his local public library.
Do not return to any
Oh, wait, yeah, because YouTube is deemed as social media. I forgot about that. I'm kind of stupid. Yeah, that damn. What would I do without you? I suppose like anime. That's the only thing. Yeah, pretty much. Anime in the gym and then like a job. I can't say that word. Anyways,
Walmart. Don't return to any
subscribe.
Bosa Donuts.
But it is worth noting that Wolfie's main TikTok account was deleted shortly after his arrest, likely due to mass reporting or just TikTok finally seeing what he did and they were like, we don't want that on the platform. Also,
Yeah.
probably because of all the bad PR he's bringing TikTok as well. But either way, his Instagram account is still up. But hey, I guess unlike other cases where creators face essentially no punishment for their terrible actions, like Yannick, who we just discussed, like last month or something like that, this time we at least saw some accountability here. Wolfie is finally experiencing some real consequences for his antics, which almost feels refreshing because honestly, we rarely see this now.
Yeah, rarely ever. And not just now. I haven't seen this like pretty much ever.
How
Yeah.
many stories have we covered of people doing absolute insane stuff and then nothing ever happens to them? And while a year in prison maybe doesn't sound like too much when you're potentially poisoning people with insects.
Speaking of crazy stuff, what happened to that person on the train? Like the person that stabbed him, like stabbed that one woman. Tell me that person's in jail, please. I'd really appreciate it.
Besides, it's still better than nothing.
Because something tells me
Now,
they're not in
we'll
jail yet.
probably go a long time without talking about
really
this
hope
guy
I'm
here
wrong.
on the channel again, but feel free to subscribe if you're new, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the
That was pretty. That was pretty W. Pretty good editing by Atozy. I met this guy recently, and I already messed with him. Hell yeah, that's beautiful. All right, Atozy.
This is the
Okay. Yeah, subscribe to him if you haven't already. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe to me as well. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time.